Alright, everybody, welcome back. So we got another track refresh that we'll be reviewing here. This time we're gonna be reviewing, Rockingham Speedway, what used to be called North Carolina Speedway or North Carolina Motor Speedway, whatever it was called, like back in 2001, whatever. So Rockingham Speedway had a long history in NASCAR, and basically the track dies and came back, died and came back again. It's the whole thing. It's like this whole thing. So long story short, this track was a major NASCAR Cup Series track for a few decades. I don't know when it actually started, but it was pretty popular throughout the 80s, the 90s, and the first 4 years of 2000s. And then from what I understand, I think NASCAR was like really exploding and growing, and they're looking into bigger markets like Texas or California. And I think what ends up happening is they had like two dates, and then went down to one date, and then they lost the date to another track. I don't know which track. And this track, basically, we did NASCAR races back then. So this track was kind of abandoned by the owners at the time, and the track was let to rot down. And then about 2010 or 2011, it was sold to another owner, and they did some work to the track. Not a lot of work, but enough work to bring back the track races here for a couple years. And then that track shut down again, ran out of money and having trouble keeping up the track. Didn't help that Rockingham Speedway, it's pretty rural in North Carolina. It's 90 minutes away from Charlotte, and it's about 90 minutes from Raleigh as well. So it's like a little bit far out. It's not as bad as other places like Bristol, but still, that was all the excuse. Oh, it's way out there when we can go to Charlotte Motor Speedway or Richmond or Martinsville. So I think it's a cop-out excuse, but the traffic flow was also not the best. And then flash forward to 2020, we had COVID virus, and Rockingham, I believe, changed ownership again, was sold to new owners, and then COVID happened as part of the federal grant that the federal government was giving to the states, like, I don't know, like $50 or $60 billion went to North Carolina to revive tracks. We built the tracks and structure around the tracks. So they did a whole project where they're rebuilding the roads around Rockingham Speedway, rebuilding the pipings, we paving the track. So they get a full repave in about 2022 or somewhere there. And this is the same grant, the federal grant, that bought back North Wilkesboro as well, and also pumped in $15 billion to Charlotte Motor Speedway to do their updates as well. And I believe that ended up going to the new Louisville. So, yeah, it came down as part of the federal government program, where we all got the Sibby checks. When everybody got $1,200 check, to reboost the economy after COVID. So, that it was all connected to that program, and then the federal government passed the money to the state, and then the governor at the time, Roy Cooper, decided that he's going to use the money to help the racetracks, and declared that North Carolina state sport is motor racing. So they revived North Wilkesboro, and they revived Rockingham Speedway, and they added the money to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and they added like $500 to like 10 or 15 short tracks around the state as well. Hickory is a big one. So yeah, there you have it. That's the whole history. Like I was saying, this place was like repaved it in 2022, and they torn down the old grandstands. That was kind of crumbling. You can see Turn 1 grandstand is gone. And it's because the concrete pillar below the grandstand was crumbling and was literally about to fall apart. So they had to tear that down to make it safe for people. And then, they repaved it, but track, so it's no longer You know, it's no longer like bumpy like the old scan was, and thankfully they were able to keep the scan from 2012, so we still got the bumpy version that Rockingham was known for, but now everything's all smooth out for the future races. We got the Invented Series, and we got the truck races here, and they came back in 2025. You can look those up in YouTube, and they're going to bring those, the Invented Series and the truck races again, 2026. And I believe they've been using it for Easter weekend races. So there you have it. It keeps the families of a driver close to home while, you know, still be able to do the races for Easter weekend. There you have it. That's the whole history. And now we're about to try out the new scam for the first time. I'm driving the truck. Just because I got it downloaded and ready to go. So we'll see how smooth this is going to be. Do I even have the right setup? I'm actually, before I continue on, I'm going to make sure I get the right setup. I think I do, but I want to double check. I should have done that. Yeah, that is not the correct setup, so it's a good thing I caught that. Alright, let's see what we have here. Rockingham 2025. So we do have the prepper setup here. Alright, let's try again. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to stop and go and blow up the new setup. But the frames looks pretty good. Everything looks good. It's all modern. Definitely not as bumpy as the old version. But I'm not sure how it's going to play out with people using the top, you know, to go fast, like you used to be able to do on the old layout. So it'll be interesting. But the bottom had wild grip. Oh yeah, still a little bit bumpy. You go too far, too low. But I'm just gonna lift and then stump back up again and see how that's gonna behave. But yeah, it's the truck. It's very the truck these days, you just stump on the gas and go. It's not great for the tires, long run, but it does the job. It's definitely very smooth, very skillfully smooth comparing to the old Scam. See how that, oops, I didn't mean for that to happen. Probably hurt the tires. Yeah, I did. That's a bummer. But it's nice and smooth for sure. Alright, let's see how this is gonna play out for the fast laps. If I use like the old line and go to the top. I'll see how big of a difference it's gonna make here if I use the top. There you have it. Oh, spun the wheels pretty good there. Alright, let's do this. It's not as fast, that's for sure. You're losing so much time now. Still gonna have to be careful going to turn 2. That's a short corner still. You're still gonna see people crashing that corner. Yeah, there's a lot of grip to the bottom for sure, comparing to the top. It's so much faster to stick to the bottom. So I'm not sure how that's gonna play out for multi-line racing now. We'll see what happens if I do something like this. definitely not the fast way to do it for sure. Yeah, I can definitely lift a lot and be fast. Do this. I still think there'll be some challenges with the races here. I still think you're gonna have fun racing here, but it's definitely gonna be less side-by-side racing here because the bottom's just so much faster now. It stays at the bottom or the middle like this. It's just so much faster now. It's definitely very smooth. It's definitely very smooth for sure. They did a great job repaving this place to last for the next couple decades, assuming this ownership doesn't screw up like other ownerships. Alright, well, that wasn't the prettiest. That wasn't the prettiest, but we got it done. So let's see what we're gonna get from a TV camera here. I'm sure I could have been faster. I'm sure I could have figured out how to be faster this video, but I didn't want to make it too long. This is like truly my first impressions of this place. Figuring out was fast, was the quick way around this place. But there you have it. New Rockingham Speedway under new ownership, and they're back and living for another couple years. We'll see how well that's gonna go. I just see in the news that they're still bleeding the money, so we'll see how this is gonna go. I know they're trying different things. I know they're trying like concerts. They're trying like car show. They're trying a lot of different things to bring in people for this place. What I do like is that there's 3D grass. Give me a second. I turn this on. Now that's working. And they had like really thin 3D grass working now, so that's also nice. They ain't do anything too fancy with the logos. They got the Truck Sears, they got the Invendi Sears, they got the Arca Sears logo. They do have the infield course, but it's pretty old at this point. I don't think they even used it anymore. I know they kept the road course an old scam, but I don't think they really used it. And I believe one of the projects they did was to build a tunnel underneath Turn 4, but I could be wrong about that one. We know we got Welcome Back NASCAR, so that's nice. And then we're gonna check out good old Richmond County landscape. We got a lot of pine trees around here. And I don't even remember which direction, but it really is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing of note for almost 2 hours in all direction. There is like Little Rock. They call it the Little Rock, and supposedly their plan to turn this into a late model stock track, or late model racing track. Bring it to the full standards, and you can kind of see the scan they did. Unfortunately for Rockingham Speedway, they try like a tire test for late model stock, and they were going up 120, 130 mile per hour, and it was tearing up the tires. So that was one of the reasons. That was really one of the reasons why they decided to repave the track. It's because that tire test, it was tearing up the tires. So they kind of had to go back to the drawing line and you know, come up with the new pavement. We paved the track. Because otherwise it was eating up the tires. Even you make it harder, it was still tearing up the tires. So there, not a lot of detail to it. The garages here is not that. It's not really that impressive. It's pretty old school. Everything about this place very old school. Although I'm sure they would build. I'm sure they get a building or two, and we furnish it. And from what I understand, the press box, it was in bad shape. And they actually built the inside part of it. And we got, Benny Parson Towers. If I remember, there's really nothing of note to the outside. They even still got the old NASCAR logo here. That's kind of funny. And there were, like, the rock statue. There's, like, the rock statue somewhere here. I don't know where. I think this was it. I had not been to this place in a while. I went by it a couple times, driving around while storm chasing. But I had not been back to this place since 2001. So, it's been a long time for me. But I'm hoping I can go to races here in 2026, It's not that far for me, and the tickets was pretty cheap. So I can see myself coming back here and, in 2026. I should need to get a freaking job again. So, like career job. I'm still working part-time at the cat shelter, but I still, need a freaking job with my career before I can do a lot of race washing. But there you have it. That's the quick review of Rockingham Speedway. It's just nicer looking, smoother, and refreshed it to 2025 standard for the art world. We got 3D fans. We got the state barrier going all the way around the track now. I believe they had to spend like $2 billion adding more state barriers and like a crazy amount of money repaving the track. It was the whole deal. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying that. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll catch you all later and have a good one, alright, and see you all out there racing.